president a porn star and the payoff. An ever-changing story poses a mounting challenge to the commander-in-chief's credibility. Should it really matter to America? Meantime, Donald Trump calls for arming teachers to protect the nation's classrooms. Can pistol-packing educators actually keep our kids safer? In Philadelphia, an ugly case of racial bias resolved with a conciliatory reach for meaningful change. What can America learn from the Starbucks settlement? Here at home, Houston's mayor makes the plea for more police and the taxes necessary to fund them. Will citizens be willing to dig deeper for public safety? Or should a growing city learn to live within its current means? I'm Greg Grugan, and welcome to What's Your Point, where our panelists call it like they see it. Let's meet them. Starting us off, Republican strategist Jessica Colon. Next up, progressive commentator and Houston attorney Nyanza Moore. In the 3 spot, Chicano educator and activist Tony Diaz. Batting cleanup, Marcus Davis, radio host of Sunday Morning Live. Next up, businessman, columnist, and former Kemah mayor Bill King. And closing us out, former Republican congressional candidate and businessman Rick Walker. Let's do this. Now, to be perfectly honest, here in America in the year 2018, most folks just really don't care whether Donald Trump had a sexual encounter with a porn star years before he became president. In fact, many would be surprised if he hadn't. But like many entanglements emerging from the Trump White House, the commander-in-chief has ignited controversy by first claiming the affair never took place and later denying knowledge of a $130,000 payment of hush money by his fixer, Michael Cohen. Of course, this week, Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani went on national TV to tell a much different story, insisting the president had in fact reimbursed his lawyer.
Having something to do with paying some Stormy Daniels woman $130,000, I mean, which is going to turn out to be perfectly legal. That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation. So
they funneled it through the law firm.
Funneled through a law firm, and the president repaid it.
Has the president been caught in a lie? And if so, should we care? Tony Diaz.
I tell you what, we're not shocked anymore. I guess we have the Hugh Hefner president. So we're not shocked that not only just a porn star, Playmates, other models. So we're not surprised by that. But also, this is an old era. That's old era. In fact, Giuliani's from an older era, too. Giuliani probably had a legal keen mind when he was bending laws in New York to profile minorities for a stop and search to clean up New York. Well, nowadays, it's a multicultural, different universe. And at the end of the day, I tell you what, it's terrible for our president to lie to us. The only reason Giuliani and Trump are stepping on each other's toes is because there are now recordings of what his lawyer was saying to other people. One of them is going to flip. They've got inside evidence as well. They've cornered everybody. By the time Donald Trump sits down to answer these questions, I have a feeling that he's going to get caught up in a simple lie that is really, at the end of the day, against the law. And we're going to see that there is no billionaire privilege when you have balance of powers, and we're going to see democracy at its best, self-policing.
Okay, Jessica Colon.
Whew,
this is kind of ugly
just
stuff.
Like these monologues, theatrical monologues from Mr. Diaz today. It's why he's a great writer. You know, he is right. When I was a kid in '98, I remember learning what the definition of is was. And I know that when President Clinton stood before America and schooled us on what is means, and we were so eager to impeach him, when approval ratings were in the 50s, America didn't have the appetite to try to impeach the president. And what we learned then is what we know now, is that America doesn't have an appetite to tolerate these types of stories. They didn't have it in the 90s, and they don't have it now. And they're not really paying attention to this. And it's not catching the tripwire. The Democrats are eager to have it catch, to have the effect on these midterm elections they wanted to have an effect on. So They're going to stay at this to try to drive the president's approval ratings down. What we're finding, however, is that it's not having an effect on the president's approval ratings. His approval ratings are sitting at 50, and they continue to rise because of the policies of this administration.
Nyanza, we welcome you back, and we welcome whatever comment you have on this issue.
Okay, so it's good to be back, and I have to say, it's only disappointing that we're still talking about the same things that we were talking about 3 weeks ago. I mean, I guess I was here 4 weeks ago, but Stormy Daniels is still the topic. Instead of what I did hear about was that North and South Korea were trying to come together, and that at the end of the day, you know, I don't think I care as much about the Stormy Daniels issue as most Americans probably still care. What I do care about is that Rudy Giuliani is now leading the president's legal team, and it appears as though he did not do enough fact investigation before he decided to speak out on national television as the president's legal spokesperson before he knew what the facts were. And if you want to say that maybe the president is getting caught in a lie, I disagree with that. Maybe the president is getting caught in the truth, because Rudy Giuliani is apparently saying that he did make the repayment, and if it was $35,000 a month or $35,000 a quarter, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the president at this time needs better counsel and not just yes men. Because if you notice what was said by Giuliani when he tried to backtrack, it's everything that President Trump said when he was on his way to take a flight, saying that no, this is all a lie, he did not have enough of the facts, he just got on the job, which is essentially basically he only had 2 weeks to learn everything, but he only essentially has been here for a day, and that, you know, this is just being blown out of proportion. When the reality is this: if we get sidetracked on major in the minor, we lose focus of what's important, and that's letting the president run the country as best as he can without the distraction.
Bill King, jump in here.
Look, at the end of the day, character matters, and this president has none, and it's destroying his agenda, it's destroying the Republican Party, it's destroying the conservative movement because he pretends to be a conservative when he's really not. Look, in any given day, he does 2 or 3 things that you would backhand your kids for doing, you know? And I'm going to tell you, conservatives, Republicans, evangelicals who say we're going to continue to stand by this guy because we like certain policies are compromising their own agendas, and they need to realize that.
Rick, you deal with lots of people with very deep faith, but they have conservative values as well. What's their read on all this?
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that this is the daily line of business for your average billionaire playboy like Trump. It's totally expected. Now, the way that I see a way out of this in the FEC concerns is that this is daily business, that there are payoffs that probably happen on a frequent basis, and the attorney took care of it without Trump's knowledge. Now, others would say, well, this is $130,000. He would have known about that. But for someone that claims he's worth $10 billion, that's less than a thousandth of 1%. It's not that much money to Trump, and I bet the attorney did take care of things like this on a regular basis without his knowledge that were not a part of a campaign, just like you and I buying sandwiches. Just a regular part of daily life.
Does it have an erosive quality with his base to hear stuff like this, or can they separate? Have we reached that point?
Well, another unfortunate fact about it is that it was already baked into us voting for Trump. We knew all this when we voted for the guy.
Okay. I kept Marcus for last because I know you have something to say.
Which speaks to the issue in America with our cancerous partisan politics and the hypocrisy that we have coming from the evangelicals. I mean, had this been anyone else, had this been a Democrat, this would have been fire and brimstone. Had this been Barack Obama that had slept with a porn star, this would have been hell and high water. The hypocrisy is glaring. But I don't want to major in Stormy Daniels. Donald Trump already did. I want to talk about the idea that he has a problem with the truth. He wrestles vigorously with telling the truth. And it's not the idea that he, stuck his umbrella inside of Stormy. It's the idea that he sits in the seat in the United States of America and sets an example for what moral character is supposed to look like, not with regard to Stormy, but with telling the doggone truth, with being honest with America, with being honest with Congress, with being honest with himself. And that's the problem that I have. We're not dealing with this idea of $130,000, which, as Tony alluded, is probably going to cause him a problem. But it's not the problem that he laid down with her, it's that he's lying down, lying.
I suspect we're going to be talking about it again. Sorry, Jess. Coming up after the break, President Trump proposes arming teachers, drawing a load of applause from the NRA. Stay with us, we're going to talk about it.